Kaltograd smells like rust and regret. Even in the cold, that tang of iron clings to your nostrils, and it never leaves. Rain slicks the ash-covered streets, puddling in craters where statues used to stand. A few faces pass by, ghosts, mostly. Survivors. We don't make eye contact anymore. We just drift, like smoke. I haven't slept in 39 hours. Not since command called me in and handed me the folder stamped, Operation Black Veil. Target location, Grid 6 Echo, Gray Zone. Covert recon. Confirm intel, no engagement. Extraction, T+48. Good luck, Lieutenant Varnon. No one says, good luck unless they know it's already gone. My father was a librarian. My mother, a translator. We lived on the border, near the old forests of Drevna. I grew up with books in every language but my own. I knew how to say, freedom in 12 dialects before I knew how to fire a weapon. Then came the siren winter. That's what we call the day the world broke in half, when the satellites burned up and the old alliances collapsed, and every nation with a grudge and a gun took its shot. My town vanished in the first month. I joined the Eastern Coalition not for the banner or the anthem, but for answers. For vengeance. They gave me a uniform and called me lieutenant because I could speak 5 languages and didn't blink when a gun went off. Now I lead recon teams into places even drones won't go. They gave me 5 others. Sergeant Vuk, the grizzled veteran. Eyes like granite. Smokes rolled tobacco, says the filters are how they track your soul. Private Rayner, youngest. Bright-eyed. Fidgets with a broken compass his brother gave him. Still believes we're the good guys. Tech specialist Jean, quiet. Smiles only when she's coding or cleaning her rifle. She was raised in the archaeological farms, says silence there was louder than war. Sniper Callow, nobody calls him anything but Ghost. Never misses. Never talks. He's either from the North Ridge or nowhere. No one's sure. Medic Sarah, calm hands, cold stare. Rumor is she once euthanized a squad mate by request. We don't ask about it. They're mine now. For better or worse, the gray zone isn't on maps anymore. After the biostrike last year, no faction claimed it. Warlords came and went. The air was tested, no active toxins. But the stories? Whispers of people going mad. Whole platoons vanishing. Eyes found in the woods with no bodies. A tower that hums like a heart. Our mission, get in, find the rumored lab, confirm its existence, extract data, get out. No engagement. No heroics. We crossed the border at 0200. Fog thick as milk. My boots hit mud, and I swear the ground side .it was intact. Strange. Most buildings this deep are bombed to concrete splinters. This one? Perfect. Curtains in the windows. A still warm stove. Bread on the table. But no one inside. Vuk swept left, Jean scanned for EM fields. Nothing. But Rayner stared at the wall. Not the shelves. Not the photos. The wall. Lex. He whispered, voice shaking. Why's it? Breathing? I followed his eyes. And for half a second, just one, I saw it. The wallpaper. Pulsed. Like lungs under plaster. Then it stopped. We didn't speak. We just left, the terrain changed. The trees here were wrong. Bent toward the center, like pulled by some invisible gravity. Birds chirped out of rhythm, then fell silent. Then we saw it. Half buried in the ground. A dome-like structure, camouflaged with dirt and vines. Not military. Older. No insignia. No guards. Just a rusted hatch, yawning open like a wound. Inside, the air was dry. Sterile. Jean powered up her tablet. Her face went pale. Lex. This place has power. She showed me the screen, energy pulses every 6 seconds. Faint, but steady. Like a heartbeat. And then the scream came. Not from outside. Not from any direction. From inside our comms. All 6 radios burst with static and a sound like a woman screaming underwater. Sarah ripped her earpiece out. Raynor dropped to his knees. I felt my own head split in two. And then, nothing. Silence. Jean looked at me and said, "That wasn't interference. That was a signal. She found us at dusk. Tall. Barefoot. Covered in ash. Her eyes glassy like she'd seen everything and remembered none of it. She spoke 3 languages in one sentence and none of them made sense. Mara. That's what she called herself. Or maybe what the virus named her. She claimed she escaped the lab. She said they were testing a cure. Not for a disease, she whispered. For violence." She looked at me. Right at me. Not past me like the others. And she said, "You've been here before, haven't you? You just don't remember yet. Now we're camped near a burned-out truck, under a sky that looks too clean for a place so foul. The others are asleep or pretending. I sit with my rifle across my knees and my thoughts eating holes in my head. Something's wrong. Not just here. In me. Since we crossed that line, I keep remembering things that didn't happen. My mother's face, but she's wearing a gas mask. A boy in a blue jacket, holding my hand, but I never had a brother. And that house. That damn house. What kind of war changes your memories before it kills your body? Tomorrow, we go into the lab. Tomorrow, we find the truth. Or it finds us. If anyone finds this recording, know this. We weren't hunting ghosts. We were being studied by them. The sun never rises here. At least, it never feels like it. Just a permanent haze, a ceiling of smudged ash and bruised sky that looms above us like a lid on a jar. We breached the outer hatch just after dawn, or what passes for it. The door groaned like something dying, revealing a spiral staircase descending into the earth. The steps were wet, rusted, and narrow, slick with slime that smelled like old blood and burnt plastic. Mara didn't hesitate. She walked first. Barefoot. She didn't even flinch when her skin touched the metal. The rest of us followed in silence. Even Vuk stopped chewing his damn tobacco for once. It wasn't a lab. Not in the way Command described. No white tiles or sterile hallways. No glass walls or clipboards. It was older. Organic. The walls curved unnaturally, like bone carved into corridors. The lighting came from somewhere unseen, dim, pulsing, like the room breathed with us. Or against us. The place had its own gravity. Like it didn't want us there. Jean stayed close, sweeping her scanner back and forth. But it kept glitching, distances didn't make sense. A hallway that should have been 10 meters stretched endlessly. Rooms folded into themselves. We kept passing the same flickering sign, Lab 4B, even though we changed direction 4 times. Raynor whispered that maybe the signs were following us. That was the first thing he said in over an hour. Then we heard the voices. They didn't come from behind doors or speakers. They came from inside our comms. Not like the scream from before, this was quieter. A loop. Gentle. Familiar. Mine was my mother's voice. She was reading to me. A bedtime story I barely remembered, The 3 Soldiers and the Moonlight Bridge. Her voice was calm, soothing. Too perfect. Too complete. Then it started repeating. Over and over. Same cadence. Same breaths. A recording spliced into memory. I tore my earpiece out and crushed it under my boot. The others did the same. Except Raynor. He was crying. His compass clutched in one hand. Whispering, "He's calling me. He knows I'm close." We tried to take it from him, but he fought back like a cornered animal. That's when Mara touched his forehead. Just placed her fingers there. And he stopped. Just went quiet. Calm. Like a child waking from a nightmare. He gave me a look I'll never forget. A strange peace behind the tears. "It's not a weapon," he said. "It's a cure." We didn't speak of it again. We reached what Mara called the heart just before nightfall. A circular chamber beneath the earth, filled with wires that looked like veins, and pods like wombs fused into the walls. Inside them, bodies. Breathing. Still. Plugged in like servers, eyelids fluttering. Dozens of them. Some wore ECF armor. Some were civilians. A few still clutched weapons in their hands. One woman's eyes were open. She blinked when I looked at her. Just once. "Sleep loops," Mara said, crouching beside the central console. "They're in a dream state. Being reshaped."